Welcome. This is HR That Works President Don Finn, and in roughly 5 minutes, I'm going to give you the basics of hiring people the right way. Now, many companies say they want to be great companies, but in order to be great companies, you have to have great employees. And it all starts with a process. And the first thing I look at is what's the people's ability to bring things. So we got to look at their skill sets, and the fact is half the employees out there are above average and half the employees are below average, and you want to make sure you know what you're hiring for. So there are two types of skill tests people can take, one for substantive knowledge and one for procedural knowledge. So for example, I was helping to hire a CFO. We wanted to make sure they were in the top 20% of gap analysis, which is the substantive knowledge in a business. The procedural knowledge was the QuickBooks, and wanted to make sure in the top 20% of QuickBooks. And this was a real estate investment firm, so they did their real estate deals on Excel spreadsheets. I wanted in the top 20% of Excel spreadsheets. Took us 7 months to find somebody scored in the top 20% of all three categories, but that's how you make sure you get a great CFO. In the short term, we use account temps until we found the right person. And my favorite website of all is to go to brainbench.com, just the way it sounds. And by the way, below this you'll see a little list, the hiring checklist. You'll see some of these vendors on here that I recommend. The second thing is a person's natural affinity to bring it, their desire. So they might want to do something or can do something fairly well, but are they motivated to do it very well? So for example, if I'm going to hire a CFO, I also want to make sure they have a high attention to detail as part of their personality. Now they don't call these things tests, they call them character assessments. They don't call them a test because you can't fail your personality. Every employer I know that uses these greatly benefits for them and swears by them and agrees with me that they're better at telling you who not to hire than who to hire. So look at character assessment tools. You should also see a link of where you can go contact Zero Risk HR and get a free tool from them. Now the third thing here is to do a great job of interviewing. And of course, you want to have that all prepared in advance. But here's my favorite interview question of all, is tell me something that felt unfair to you in your last job. And you just drill into that question throughout the employment history and also ask why when they tell you what felt unfair to them, because guess what? Something's going to feel unfair to them working for you, and you want to know how they deal with it before you make an offer to them. And the next thing is we want to do background checks. And you go to a partner like Global HR Research, our great background checking partner, and you make sure you do a criminal background check on everybody you hire, because it only takes one felon to ruin your day. And you do a credit background check on anybody who's handling your money or somebody else's money or any sensitive type positions. You want to do degree background checks, past employment background checks, immigration background checks. So fortunately you can go to one source and help take care of all of that. Then you make a conditional job offer. And then you have people do a fit for duty exam. So if they do any type of physical conduct, and there's few of us who don't do any, so let's say somebody's sitting at a keyboard all day. Well, are they fit for duty, or do they have carpal tunnel problems? If they're working out in a warehouse, can they lift the 50-pound boxes, or are they permanent stationary in the right shoulder? So on that flow chart that's attached down here, you'll see that if in fact they do have a limitation, the process you have to go through, because the ADA is what is involved in that. Now there's another video I've got up which talks about the different reasons why we don't do this, and the only reason that we don't do this has nothing to do with logic. They're all emotionally based. The logical thing is to take this approach and make sure you have a process. So as one of the other forms on there, you will see a hiring checklist, which is an example of a process that you can tweak and make work for your company. So with all of that, by the way, if you're an HR That Works member, we have the hiring training videos that you can use to train your management on. You have all the hiring forms that go along with it. And if you have any questions about the law surrounding hiring, you know who to contact. So we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.